please, I'll lead the order. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call. Commissioner Barnes.
Here.
Commissioner Newland.
Present.
Commissioner Stoffren.
Present.
Commissioner Marshall.
Here, sir.
Okay, we have not heard from Commissioner Smock. Not sure where he is. Commissioner Miller, she did state that she was not going to be able to be here. We also have our City Council liaison, Mayor Mr. Swanson. We also have our City Planner, Mr. Lick.
Present.
Okay, everybody turn their claim forms for tonight? Claim forms to Kayla, you got them all? Got one there, okay. Okay, perfect. Okay, on to B, approval of the agenda for tonight. Tonight, basically, this whole meeting is going to be regarding the interviewing. The only thing that I would like to note or ask Kayla is on B, new business 1, we are interviewing A, B, C, and E.
Oh.
We have a phantom B, or that's just a typo? Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure there wasn't a late insert or.
You're doing your job while she's not here. I like it.
Okay, then we will change in front of Cartrell Cooper, we'll change that to the letter D.
And then also A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We're missing
The letter
the
E.
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 I didn't fix that from last time, sorry, my bad.
It's okay.
And I typed it the first time, so.
She didn't fix my error.
Where's Patty?
I know, that's why I was like, all right.
Good job.
She's going to be proud of you guys. I like it.
So we'll just go with the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, everything will be written into letter. Okay, with those two changes, under new business, in front of Cartrell Cooper will be the letter D, and then order A, B, C, D, it will go in chronological. And there will be no L. Entertain a motion to approve with those corrections.
Moved.
Second,
A second.
all in favor signify by saying aye.
I.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, approve with those two. Okay. Approval of the meeting minutes from the last meeting minutes, dated August 20th, 2025. The only thing that I noticed that Patty would have also caught is on page 1 of 3 under roll call, second line down, Commissioners Patty Miller and Claven Schmock. With Claven's brother. Switch that to Kelvin.
Would be Clavin.
Clavin.
Claven probably is. Kelvin Schmock. Daddy's gonna come back, she's gonna be so proud of us.
You're very proud.
And here I told you I'd read through it 3 times and I still missed Clayton.
Anyone have anything they found? Changes, spelling, otherwise? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion to approve with that one change, correction of Kelvin's name.
Moved.
Okay, we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. Any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Fine, okay, approved. With that switch on, Kelvin Schmuck. And that brings us to the reason we are here, D, new business. We're going to use the new applicants. We have 4 of them on the agenda for tonight. They are going to be competing for the term in seat A, which is Mr. Marshall, which does end in the year 2027. So whoever fills the vacancy, that term does run for another 2 years, to the end of 2027. We have A, we have Bruce West. B, we have Mary Larson. C, we have Rosie Walker. And D, we have Cartrell Cooper.
Oh, I get the spare. I like that.
We didn't really discuss the process for this, but the last time we did it with the new applicants before, as well as some of these, we had them leave because we have, we may have some new questions to ask. So just to stay consistent, do we want to stay under the same process? Just have them go to the back room and then just interview them one at a time?
Yes.
I think that's
Appropriate? Okay, okay. If that would work for all four of you, Bruce, if you would stay out here, if Mary, Rosie, and Cartrell, if you would please go to the end. When you're done, you are free to leave as well, so you don't have to stick around once you're done. Thank you very, very much. Okay, Bruce? Sure. You'd have a seat?
The hot seat?
That is the hot seat. All eyes and ears
Welcome.
are on you.
No problem.
Okay, we have a series of questions that we would like to ask you.
Okay,
Basically, we're looking for responses. If you can keep it to about a minute, just a nice,
or shorter.
brief, or shorter is fine.
You got an agenda you gotta cover.
Okay, in 1 minute or less, please tell us about yourself and why you are interested in serving on this commission.
Okay. Well, obviously it's Bruce West. I live at 30385 100th Street obviously in Baldwin. I've been a resident for 3 years. Prior to that, lived in Elk River, Anoka, whatever. My career, I'm retired. My career was 43 years in public safety. Dan and I have ran across our tracks or trails in the past, but I'll just highlight my time at Elk River. I was the fire chief in Elk River from 94 to 09. When I started in Elk River, it was a great city of 10,000 people. When I left, it was a great city of 23,000. So you do the math with the growth that happened during the time that I was the fire chief. So I'm familiar, obviously, with planning commission, with planning for subdivisions and developments and you name it. So now, am I an expert? By no means. I mean, I had my role as the fire chief and things, but that's the familiarity there. Why I applied, I want to get more involved in our community. I sit on the infrastructure committee, which has been quite interesting, and we have not completed our tasks yet. Two of your members sit on and Dan leads that. And so, but I just want to continue, and for some of you that don't know or didn't see it, I ran for council back in November of '24. I ran for a 2-year term, and Jeff and Tom Rush finished first and second, and I finished a comfortable third, let's say. So win, place, or show. But it was a great experience for me to get to know, more people in the community. I lived in Elk River for 26 years, and prior to that was Anoka, so I got to obviously be part of the community in Elk River, and that's my plan here is to get even a bigger part of our community.
How long have you lived in Baldwin?
3 years. Yep,
Before
yep,
3 years, okay.
yep, 3 years.
Okay. Have you ever attended a Baldwin Planning Commission meeting before?
I have not. So, I've been to numerous council meetings, but I have not been to a planning commission. I saw there was an opening, and I thought it's time for me to step up and get a little more involved in the planning, future planning of reviewing and et cetera.
Okay, that leads into our next question is what is your own personal vision for Baldwin in terms of growth and development?
Well, I mean, I campaigned on small lots, the 2.5 acre lots. I like to keep it that way. I think I like the rural size of our community, the rural, development and plenty of land for everyone. I don't want to see high density in this community. I mean, that's just not my style. But I think there's plenty of room for some growth. And I think if we can continue to have a good planned growth of Baldwin, that's what I would like to see.
Are there opportunities or issues you are the most interested in having the Planning Commission consider if you are appointed?
Say that again.
Are there opportunities or issues that you are most interested in having the Planning Commission consider if you are appointed?
I heard the opportunities, but I missed the issues part. No, not really. I mean, I think Baldwin has tremendous amount of opportunities, for the location we are. Highway 169, and now you can see with the way 169 is going to become, let's say, even faster, with what's gonna happen in Zimmerman here, which is already a traffic nightmare. You know, but, with the closeness of, you know, growing community, you know, with Princeton and things, but, yeah, I just think there's plenty of opportunities for the city of Baldwin. Issues, I think with growth, can come some issues that go along with that. You know, we have no water. I mean, as far as hydrants and, you know, city sewer water, is that good? Is that bad? I mean, for me, I'm fine, you know, with, you know, water and, you know, my well and septic, and we just have to keep good eyes on, you know, what we have within the community. So we just have to, as a planning commission, follow those environmental issues that may come up because of that. You know, even if we have some growth with business, which we sure hope we can still have growth with business without city sewer and water.
What background most qualifies you for the planning commission, and do you have specific experience in the field of land use planning, civil engineering, law, development, and/or construction?
Construction I did, you know, so during college, out of college, I did work for, my brother was a builder, you know, so I worked on that side of it. Got some great experience when it comes to that. But as far as law, no, none of that things. But I think what I can provide is I personally watched a community, Elk River, you know, go through the growing pains. And yes, there were growing pains when you know, over 15 years, thankfully it was over 15 years, you know, the way we grew. But I mean, once the big boxes started coming into Elk River, it was one after another and trying to, you know, plan for all that. And just for my eyes, you know, when it come to water supply to all of these buildings, you know, ensuring the fact that we have, and what I mean by water supply was enough for firefighting. You know, that was my job as the fire chief, was to ensure that, you know, I would look at all of the layouts of all the hydrants, you know, that was coming through the community, work with our city engineer, Terry Maurer at the time, you know, and things. So I lived it, I watched it. I attended planning commission meetings in Elk River, numerous of them, as the role of the fire chief, you know, and the city employee. But again, am I an expert in land use? Am I an expert in all of the, you know, the regulations and things like that? I know, I've looked at our comp plan and things like that for City of Baldwin, you know, and even though it's a few years old, I mean, it's still, we have one, you know, and things. And so am I an expert on them? No, but I would sure get, you know, more experience as I, you know, sitting on the planning commission.
Okay. Are you aware of any current or potential conflicts of interest you might have as a member of the planning commission?
Nope, none.
Okay.
Nope.
Describe your understanding of the authority, duties, and responsibilities of the commission or as a commissioner.
Well, I think as a commissioner is to attend the meetings, you know, if you're going to commit to something, you know, be there, be on time, you know, and take part in the meetings. I think the planning commission is the advisory role to the council, you know, and so you're going to look at the plan, subdivisions, developments, you know, whatever it is, CUPs, you know, and you're going to look at, okay, how do they relate to, you know, our land use, how do they relate to the comp plan, et cetera, et cetera. You're going to go through that. You're going to talk, you know, and then make that recommendation to the council. So I believe that the planning commission is an advisory council, board, you know, commission, however you want to say it, you know, to the city council.
Okay. What do you believe the role of the planning commission should be?
Well, I think that's what it should be. It should be the advisory to the council. The council makes the, you know, the mayor and the council make the final decision. You can say this meets this meets that, whatever, or this doesn't, this needs to, you know, this needs to be added to the CUP or whatever it is. And you make that the recommendation of the council, and they're either going to accept it or send it back for review, send it back for changes because there's questions about this or that. So I think that's what it is.
Do you believe that the recommendations of the planning commission are to be based firmly on the comprehensive plan and city ordinances, or are there opportunities for flexibility in their decisions?
I think there's always opportunities for flexibility. Dan knows me pretty well. One was fire chief. I was not a person for that variances, because variances can get you in trouble. You know, that you have your laws, your land use regulations, your ordinances for a certain purpose. And once you start making variances to something, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years down the road, there was a variance on this, how come you're not going to, do one here? And so unless you want to make a change in an ordinance or the land, whatever it is, because you have to keep doing variance after variance after variance, then there's something wrong with the ordinance or, the regulation, whatever it is. So I think that you need to follow the guidelines that the city has, and that they've adopted, the council has adopted, they've approved. If there needs to be changes to that, then you should be making changes.
One of my hot buttons here, the planning commission meetings are currently scheduled for the 3rd and 4th Wednesdays of each month at 7:00 sharp. Will you meet this time commitment for all the meetings?
Yep, I do have something else that I do on Wednesday nights that I've done for many years, but I'm usually done by 6:30, and so I can always get here by 7:00. I'm a trap shooter, and we shoot on Wednesday nights, afternoons, so. Not very good at it, but I enjoy it.
Okay. Do you have any other comments that you wish?
No, this is the first time that I've applied for the planning commission. If there are other candidates that, are better than I am, I'm fine with that. If I'm not your selected choice, doesn't mean that I would not put it in the future. But I'm excited about it. I think I would fit in, and my background would be advantageous to the planning commission.
Does anyone have any questions that you have for him? Anything you would like to ask Bruce?
Dick would.
Go ahead, sir.
A couple of questions here that I really don't want to ask you, but I'm going to, because they're pertinent and no offense applied or intended. First one, you said you were public safety, that was the fire, with your fire service?
Yep, it was all in the fire service.
Okay. We have a big issue going on about our big fire department and so forth and so on. My question to you, and it's pointed, and I have no offense, please. Can you remain neutral on that issue? I know I'm retired law enforcement. I would find it difficulty to remain neutral on some issues that might come in that respect, but I would have to. Can you do the same thing?
I can, absolutely. Even though my career was, fire service emergency management, yes, I can.
I mean, there are issues that,
Yep.
and I believe they should have, but I don't think it's right for this time. But that's my opinion, and I'm asking if you're that neutral that you could take a stand on that.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Very good. The other one is, well, I have a couple more. Your growth, the density, would you subscribe to the fact that, true, we want to grow, but is that a controlled growth? And that wraps up with the other question here, in the best interest of the people and the city of Baldwin.
Absolutely. Controlled growth is what I would want. I would want to make sure that, as we move through the years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, whatever it is, I would like to see very, controlled growth for Baldwin. Because without controlled growth, the council is struggling already when it comes to, budgetaries and things like that. I've been to a few of the budget meetings, as the mayor knows, and that controlled growth could really cause some more budgetary constraints on the city.
Having talked with you a couple of 3 or 4 times before, and I pretty much know your personality, the best interest of the community sometimes means that you may stand alone here.
You could. Absolutely, you could.
Okay, thank you very much.
Else have anything?
Okay.
My only thing I have for you is kind of on Commissioner Marshall's last comment, is that we all have wide variety background, differing opinions, but respect for each other is huge. If you're 100% opposed to somebody else's view, that's fine. We state our opinions, we discuss it rationally, and then we leave it there. There's no tension, no chaos, no anything. So that's one thing that we're really big on, respecting each other, not talking over each other, let somebody else get point their opinion, even if you're opposed. So that's just a big thing. Just because, I mean, we spent a lot of time together discussing important things and don't always get along, so.
Well, I think that's imperative, is that, that's why you have well, look at our infrastructure committee, all the numerous members we have on that. Everybody gets a voice, everybody gets to voice their opinion, their thoughts. And nobody, well, that's the dumbest thing I've ever, no. Everybody has to be able to provide their thoughts, their ideas, and then you discuss it as a commission, as a council.
We work well with, we are an advisory committee, but one thing that the mayor and the council always tell us is how much they respect us for the work we do, which makes us feel good that they're not like, okay, here, you take care of this, because we have important things to do. They make us feel important, as well as what we do is very important, so we have a good relationship with them. So everybody here works together very, very well. Mr. Lick leads us through a ton of stuff. We rely on him heavily, so everybody appreciates each other. So that's a real big part of this, is respect.
Well, if you're doing your work, and you're doing everything to look at those issues in front of you, and you bringing those to the council, and they're not sending them back to you constantly, then you're obviously doing your work very well. And that's what the council wants, is that you bring these issues for approvals, discussion, approve, disapprove, as they have on the agenda, and they're approving, they're moving forward, then you've done your due diligence to make sure that the council has all the information to make their decisions. And that's what an advisory board should be doing.
Okay, if that is good, thank you very, very much, Bruce. We really appreciate your time. You are free to go.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very, very much.
Okay, you bet, Bruce. Good luck with all your interviews.
Well, hello, Mary.
Good evening.
How are you?
Pretty good.
Good, good. Okay. We're gonna go through, we're gonna have a lot of the same questions that you've already heard. We may have some new ones as well. Looking for answers in about 1 minute or so, if you would. Just tell us about yourself and why you're interested in serving on the commission.
Sure. I'm Mary Larson, relatively new to town. I believe in giving back to your community and being involved. Don't believe you can speak if you're not involved and don't know the matters. I'm currently a volunteer event planner for the city. Enjoy that and want to see that grow. It's kind of hard, but we're working at it, and see where we get. We do have some of our in-home vendors who are interested in having a group that can support each other. So that's where we're going to start, see where we get. I'd like to see us do something with youth to get a youth group going, of volunteers, get them young and keep them around.
Have you ever attended a Baldwin planning meeting?
No, other than the meetings that we had when we were going to become a town. That's all I've attended.
What is your own personal vision for Baldwin in terms of growth and development?
I wanted to keep the small feel we have now where everybody kind of knows each other and watches out for each other. But I also know to maintain what we currently have, we have to grow. And how do we do that in a planful way and keep our current lot sizes the way they are, but yet develop some business too that we need for a tax base?
Are there opportunities or issues that you are most interested in having the Planning Commission consider if you are appointed?
Keeping our current statutes the way they are regarding our lot sizes, and watching for growth. And how do we do that and maintain our current sizes and our sense of well-being as a community that cares about people and the businesses. We're lucky what the businesses we have, I think, are very committed to the citizens and providing services, and I want to see that continue. And I think the Planning Commission would be behind that.
What background most qualifies you for the Planning Commission, and do you have specific experiences in the field of land use planning, civil engineering, law, development, and/or construction?
I can't say I have specific experience in planning and zoning, but what I will say is I was previously president of Little Rock Lake Association, which is on Little Rock Lake, right outside of Rice, Minnesota. And we had, unfortunately, had a situation where a man bought some lots online and thought he could put on 2 lots, put 4 double wides, with not taking into account setbacks for the highway or the lake, septic systems, et cetera. And he was going to have for his safety for storms, a U-Haul that he was going to place there. And I'm like, no. Totally against the rules. You can't do that. And I got to know Mike Ruby and I can't think of the other attorney. I should know him really good. Bob, thank you. Ruby. And got to know them working through that scenario of rules. And it required a lot of reading and rules and knowing them and educating my fellow lake members of why they need to come to meetings and voice their opinion. And we had standing room only in the town hall, and we needed that. And I think one of our biggest jobs as we grow is to keep our town people educated about the rules and reality.
Are you aware of any are you aware of any current or potential conflicts of interest you may have as a member of the Planning Commission? Describe your understanding of the authority, duties, and responsibilities of the commission or as a commissioner.
To come prepared to meetings, to read all pertinent information sent by email or snail mail prior to the meeting, to be able to articulate to my neighbors or other constituents regarding the issues when they ask, because we're the voice to them, and go from there. I also see it as explaining to people why the rules are the way they are, especially when it comes to zoning and why you have to have certain permits and not having them is not okay, despite the cost. I think Mr. Swanson had my one irate phone call about cost, but it is what it is. You're going to have those costs.
What do you believe the role of the Planning Commission should be?
To uphold what is currently in place regarding our rules and regulations, and when changes need to be made, to use a public meeting to explain why they are being changed and why it's in our best interest, especially if there's tax increase or something involved.
Do you believe that the recommendations of the Planning Commission are to be based firmly on the comprehensive plan and city ordinances, or are there opportunities for flexibility in our decisions?
If we went with flexibility in our decisions, I think it would have to become then the same criteria for someone else in the same situation. I don't think we could say, okay, we'll allow this person this much leeway, but not this person. I think it would have to be done on an equal playing field across the board.
The Planning Commission meetings are currently scheduled for the 3rd and 4th Wednesday of each month, and they start at 7 o'clock sharp. Will you be able to meet this time commitment?
I'm retired, yes.
And then briefly, do you have any other comments that you would wish to provide to us?
No, other than I think the spirit of this community should be emulated. It reminds me of living in the 60s where you trust your neighbors, but you stay out of their business. And I'm grateful for that.
Does anyone have any questions for Mary? I have a personal one here, just stated on your application. How many years have you lived in the city of Baldwin? You have 2 years. Where were you before this?
I moved to St. Cloud to get medical care for my husband, who was a disabled vet. And I'm getting out of there as soon as I can. Or have, I should say.
Does anyone else have any questions for her? Okay, well, thank you very, very much,
Thank you.
Mary. Really appreciate it. You have a good evening. Doesn't get any easier. It's so hard.
Save me from the spill.
Okay, that was Mary.
Stinks in that corridor back there.
Put her here. Okay, Rosie, how are you tonight?
I'm just fine, thank you.
Good, good, good. Okay, we are going to ask you some questions. Most of them you've already heard. You may have some new ones along the way. We're kind of looking for answers roughly in 1 minute or so on the answers. First of all, tell us about yourself and why you're interested in the commission.
Well, my name is Rosie Walker, and I was born and raised in Princeton. I grew up on a farm northeast of Princeton, and then we moved to Flower City right down the road here, right down there, lived there, went to school, worked at Crystal Cabinets for 38 years. So I'm a local resident of Baldwin Township for a lot of years. And I'm interested because times are changing. People are moving up here from the cities, and we're expanding. And now that we're own city, a lot of people are coming up here in different ways. And I want to make sure that we keep our rural ways and just kind of have an open mind on the changes that are coming, and make sure that we do the right thing and pace on the building and what's going on in our community.
Have you ever attended a planning commission meeting before?
Yes.
Yep. What is your own personal vision of Baldwin in terms of growth and development? You kind of stated that in your opening statement, but Great.
I can see with growth. I mean, to me, it's like there's going to be opportunities, and we're going to have to go after opportunities, but we also have to be fiscally responsible. You know, the economic, we just can't go out there and just, have a blank check, and do everything. Just go at a slow pace, and figure it out what we need to do, and just wait for the opportunities, and I guess.
are there opportunities or issues that you are most interested in having the planning commission consider if you are appointed?
I guess I don't really know what you mean by that question.
Just anything that you personally have that you would like to have. I mean, I know you mentioned keeping it rural. That's kind of one of the things,
Oh, yeah, I mean,
that,
yeah, just the real feeling, I mean, people, for example, I'm just using this as an example. Let's say somebody comes up here from the cities, isn't used to, a quiet neighborhood, and they come up here and move next to Joe and Susie here that have chickens or, whatever, have a rooster out in the country, and they're gonna come in here and complain that, hey, that rooster is keeping me up. Well, to me, I don't see, that's the kind of issues I'm afraid of, that people want to deter our country style of living on there, I mean, I just, be open-minded about it and be neighborly and do that kind of stuff. That's, I just want to keep it real. I don't want city water and sewer. I just, want to have our own wells and.
What background most qualifies you for the planning commission? And do you have any specific experience in the fields of land use planning, civil engineering, law, development, and/or construction?
Nope, I don't have any degree whatsoever. I've just been a hard worker, lived here all my life, and just been involved in the community. Was in J.C.'s for a year. Like Crystal, I was in every committee there was possible. I'm on the park board alternate right now for Baldwin. Just volunteered for stuff all my life, and I just retired, and so I'm just interested in the community. I have no agenda.
Are you aware of any current or potential conflicts of interest you might have as a member of the planning commission?
Like I put on my application, the only thing is Alan's on the board, and I don't know if that matters, but my husband's on the board, so.
Describe your understanding of the authority, duties, and responsibilities of the commission and/or as a commissioner.
Well, I think the authority is, when if somebody comes in here and stuff, you have to thoroughly discuss the issue. I mean, I know we have Dan as a planner, for the legal stuff on there, but, you have to use common sense, and have an open mind. And just, I can't stress enough the common sense. It's not a art anymore. You just, you have to be fair-minded. And there's a lot of opportunities for things, but you have to know if it's the right opportunity.
What do you believe the role of the planning commission should be?
The planning commission should be the gatekeeper of our development of our city. They should be the watchtower on what happens in our city. They keep an eye on the opportunities or keep maybe that's not the right word, the guidelines for our development and make sure that we keep the style people want, like the real style and everything. Just be the guideline on building our city or keeping our community.
Do you believe the recommendations of the planning commission are to be based firmly on the comprehensive plan and city ordinances, or are there opportunities for flexibility in our decisions?
I think there's opportunity for flexibility.
Planning commission meetings are currently scheduled for the 3rd and 4th Wednesday of each month, and they start at 7 o'clock sharp. Will you be able to meet this time commitment?
Yep.
And then in a minute or two, do you have any additional comments that you'd like to provide us with?
No, I just think, I'm not sure where everybody's from, but I'm local. I was born and raised here. I know a lot of people in this town. I know the area. I know the people. Worked here, went to school here. Care about the community.
Okay.
I'm not saying you guys don't.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I know the community.
Does anyone else have any questions? You go by Rose or Rosemary?
Rosie,
Rosie? Okay.
my dad named
That's
me.
right, you are on here as Rosie. Anyone else have any questions for Rosie? Okay.
I also forgot I was election judge for Baldwin too.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Well, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Richard, good luck in your endeavors.
Thanks, Rosie.
There you go. Those aren't mine. Thanks, sorry about that.
Hello, Cartrell. How are you doing, sir?
Doing well. How about you guys?
Good, good, good. Thank you for your patience.
No worries.
Just going to ask you a series of questions. Most of them you have heard. We may have some new ones for you. Looking for answers roughly in a minute or so. In 1 minute, if you could please tell us about yourself and why you are interested in the Planning Commission.
Cartrell Cooper, everybody calls me Cooper. A little bit about myself. Have a very diverse background from city planning, city development. Was a real estate agent, used to teach continuing ed for the real estate of Minnesota, so it gave me the opportunity to learn a lot of different aspects of needs and wants and development and angry household owners and that kind of thing. And it's given me a perspective of things to do and not to do when it comes to planning some things and who to talk to and how you talk to them and how you communicate. And communication is the key, and the better you communicate, the better the people are receptive to whatever you have to say. So a lot of my experience, I deal with people every single day in all aspects of my existence, owning my own business as well as stepping away from my business during COVID and now back doing my business and working for somebody else, both because I don't trust the economy. Just to keep my eggs not all in one basket, because my wife likes to do things and she likes when I have money for her to do things. Make a long story short. Me in a nutshell, I'm a educator. I've taught school, I've taught high school, junior high, college level, continuing ed for adults. So I've always tried to investigate whatever somebody tells me. I don't believe. I look at details and bottom lines and that kind of thing. I'm as forthright as I possibly can be, because all I have to go to my grave is my reputation. And so therefore that's extremely important to me. Even if a person doesn't like what I have to say, I'm going to say it. So you can never, ever go anywhere and go, Cooper said that. And because if I did, I said it to you. It's not going to come from somebody else. I kind of live by that motto. I live here in Baldwin. I don't want to see Baldwin become Hennepin County. I worked for Hennepin County for a number of years as a deputy sheriff, so I've seen the good and bad of Hennepin County every single day. There's certain things that I can project to see forward that you don't want to see or have happen, and if you can keep it off as long as possible, it's a good thing. That's me in a nutshell.
Have you ever attended a Baldwin Planning Commission meeting?
Yes, I have.
What are your own personal visions for Baldwin in terms of growth and development?
My personal view is to have Baldwin grow as slow as possible, but to be able to sustain its own base. Without growth, you don't have a tax base. Without a tax base, you don't have growth. So you have to have a balance in what you're doing. You can't just say have no growth, and you can't just say go gangbusters because you can't support what you're doing. So that has to be looked at. You have to plan what you're going to do. If you're looking 6 months to 20 years, you may not follow that plan. You might make adjustments as you go down the road, but you still have to have a plan. I take notes and have a plan every day, so that's just kind of what I do. So my personal vision, literally, I don't want Baldwin to become Princeton. I don't want Baldwin to become Zimmerman. Baldwin is a very nice, unique spot to be. You have a good cross-section of urban, rural. We've lost a lot of our urban, but I'd rather keep it towards that. Somebody asked me recently at the place that I work about sizes, and my thought process for lot sizes was 5 acres, no smaller. Why? Because it allows you to have a second septic system when you need it in 25 years. So that's kind of my thinking process of that. But you're going to have to do, my vision is bringing in business that can benefit from where we're at, so you can increase your tax base there, and so it doesn't rape and pillage the individual person, the household.
Are there any opportunities or issues that you are most interested in having the Planning Commission consider if you are appointed?
Opportunities or issues? it would be easy for me to say critically issues, but not being on the planning and zoning is not the right thing to do. Because without being in it, you can only go from opinion or opinion information that's passed to you, not information of being participatory. So that's kind of how I look at that. But when it comes to opportunities, there's a whole lot of opportunities that of just plain old business wise. Bringing in businesses, I said to Jay a while ago, like a Runnings, so going after a company that brings us a working base, but also pays us a tax base, having that, making those relationships, reaching out, because you're a city now, reaching out for those relationships to try to offset some of the projects and things that want to happen as far as the city goes.
You stated several of them, but what background do you have that most qualifies you for the planning commission? And do you have any specific experience in the fields of land use planning, civil engineering, law, development, and/or construction?
All the above. If you go down to Blaine right now, there's a development piece of property called Cooper's Meadows. Okay. Over 200 homes are in that Cooper's Meadows. The name on that is my last name. I developed that property from the trees going down to the city and water, sewer water going in, to talking to every single neighbor that surrounded that property for all the streets going in, the engineering, the city planning, all of it. That was some really good experience because the individual that owned the property lived in Colorado, so I did it all. Every single meeting, every single planning and zoning meeting, every single engineer meeting, every single time that the bulldozers were out there, the job soups, all of them. That's pretty good experience.
Are you aware of any current or potential conflicts of interest you may have as a member of the planning commission? Describe your understanding of the authority, duties, and responsibilities of the commission and/or as a commissioner.
Describe the duties. The duties are entrusted by planning and zoning to best serve the people, to put the best plan available to keep them safe, healthy, sound, and have a sustainable tax base.
What do you believe the role of the planning commission should be?
What do I believe the role should be? I don't think the role should change. That's not, as far as a role, I think they have a great role because you have representation from the people to a source that goes to the council that allows good decisions to be made. So I don't see a change in role. I think the role is what it is and what it should be.
Do you believe that the recommendations of the planning commission are to be based firmly on the comprehensive plan and city ordinances, or are there opportunities for flexibility in our decisions?
I think there's flexibility. The reason why I say that is because there's certain things that might come up where a person asks for a variance for a reason that's a good, legitimate reason. Because you can't project all the needs ahead of time on a plan. But if you don't have a plan, you don't have a place to start from. If you don't have the flexibility, you might pin yourself into the corner and be a bad corner.
The planning commission meetings are currently scheduled for the 3rd and 4th Wednesdays of each month at 7 o'clock sharp. Will you be able to meet that time commitment? And then in summation, do you have anything that you would like to add? Any additional comments or information about yourself?
My only question is what is your guys' goals for who you're adding? What is the goal of who you're adding? As I'm watching individuals that have been here a very long time and have done a very good job, and matter of fact, the individual that might, or the seat that's being taken, it's one of those sit down, I want to sit down with him if I'm ever on voted in or whatever the case may be, just to learn, because there's so much history that's available. Planning and zoning can be a touchy subject to a lot of people because some have visions of here and some have visions of here. So my thinking process is to do a lot of listening. You know, you asking me to make statements and comments of things that I'm not directly privy to do. I'm a person of my word, so when I say something, I want to have the information or knowledge to be able to say it. So to answer your question, I can't technically answer it because I don't have the position to answer from. Does that make sense?
Kind of on that note of you're talking, we are looking for obviously a wide variety of people. We want a lot of different backgrounds. Just helps us with all the knowledge we can suck from people. When you lose somebody like Commissioner Marshall, it hurts because he's been here forever. I mean, he has so much experience. Not quite forever, but almost forever. Fred Flintstone and then you.
That's a lot.
So the experience you're losing with him is hard because we lost Commissioner Harris. And when he was here, Commissioner Harris had been here forever. And then he left. Now we're losing you. Commissioner Newman moved out. Those were the three people that had the most experience. So when they left, we lost over 35, 40 years of experience here. Right. So the background, they had so much knowledge just from way back when, things they could draw from that we don't have. So now it's important to have a couple things. People have good background, wide variety of backgrounds, bring them in, but also getting along. So my question for you is, you stated that you give your opinion and you're honest, which is greatly appreciated, but also my question for you is your level of tact. Just because the respect we have for each other, working with each other and coming to a group decision. And there's a time where everybody will be on the short end of a 6-1 or a 5-2 vote. And even though you are 100% sure your vote is correct and you've stated your opinion and you just have to let it go and you go to the next one and it bounces off you, water off a duck or whatever the saying is. So with your giving your opinion to people and everything, what do you think your level of tact is?
I'm glad you asked that question. And you could probably interview anybody that I've ever had a debate with. And generally speaking, I can have them walk away thinking that I was on their side, whether we agree or disagree. My years of being a deputy sheriff, I have had more times where they've called me into the overall brawl because I can talk my way out of it, or talk them out of it, or negotiate between two people, or negotiate. I can find pathways where if I don't agree, I can say I don't agree to disagree, and it doesn't faze me. I'm kind of one of those that legitimately, if I'm wrong, I can say I'm wrong. If the vote doesn't go my way, I have no hard feelings with anybody else that the vote didn't go my way. I never have. I just state I state my opinion, but I'm also very tactful in stating my opinion and how I feel about certain things. I mean, I've had a lot of discussions and disagreements that come to I call it my counseling session down at Menards that I counsel regularly, that I wouldn't have a job if I was not able to be tactful. I'm the one that they call for every tactful need situation down there. So I've become extremely good at it. I always have, but my mom taught me that. I thank her for that one.
You've been all over. You've been here for about 5 years. What drew you to Baldwin?
What's that?
What drew you to Baldwin? Why did you move here?
Why did I move to Baldwin? Well, the house was available. Okay. The acreage was available. I moved here. I wanted to move on more acreage, and this was a compromise between my wife and I because she wanted to have the stores close to her, and I wanted to be on a bigger farm so I could have more like cattle. So I've always been a farm kid, but driving down the road to my farm friends' been sufficeful. I will not move from this location. Only thing I might do is put a basement under my house because the house I live in. But other than that, what drew me to this, the whole area of Princeton has some nostalgic type thinking process. I used to hunt up here with my dad there wasn't all the development. Princeton wasn't developed the way it was. Found out years later that the house that I actually live in, Dad did all the trim work in it, which is kind of odd that I moved into a house that's way up here and your father did the trim work in it, the finished trim, because he has a signature cut that he put in the master bedroom on the corner, and that's his.
Really?
So, one maybe was meant to be. I enjoy it up here. I enjoy being able to walk out in my backyard and, talk to the deer, go down the road and go hunting, go hunting in my backyard, drive the people in Princeton crazy because I'm on the border. I like it that way, but I like it up here. I don't look like a country kid, but born and raised, yes, I was born and raised in South Minneapolis, spent a lot of time in Arkansas, but the feel of urban is me. That's what I enjoy about it. What drew me here 100% was the house was available. The acreage was good. What's keeping me here? The acreage is good. I love the people that I've met, my neighbors, I love them. Even though I've lost two, they've moved, but the two new ones are okay. I'm not going anywhere, regardless of what transpires.
Does anyone have any questions or comments for Cooper?
Talk about flexibility and decisions. One of the biggest problems that I see, not with you, but just generally, that people come in and they work on, call it in court, they work on previous decisions, i.e., guy comes in and wants to do thus and so, and we go, okay, that fits within and the next guy comes in and wants to do thus and so, and we say, no, that doesn't fit. Set. So I'm sure that doesn't really bother you. I'm just have a question, how do you handle that?
How do you handle that? That actually is a very good question. There's ways of talking to individuals, which you and I have had conversations. There's ways of talking to individuals to, one, hear them first, okay? Because a lot of times when you hear them and you hear the details, you can explain to them how that works and doesn't work versus making it an argument or a discussion. Not making your conversation as an attack on what their idea is one of the things that I know. It's hard to, when a person comes in and they have this grandiose stage of what they want to do, that happens often in a lot of different situations, not just in this type of setting. But part of that is communication. One of those role play type things is thanks for your opinion. Nobody's trying to belittle the opinion. It's just, it may not fit in the scenario, but let's give it time. So you don't shut them down, but you don't enclose the window. You want to keep the dialect open so that you can have truly background and explanation of, at this point in time, for example, myself, coming into this scenario, I would never come into this group and say, well, let's change this. Because I've not worked with the group. It goes back to what I said earlier. You can't have answers to questions when you haven't been a participatory actor in the situation. So it's kind of like when I used to teach my football players. You go in your first 9 months, you just shut up. You just shut up and listen. Unless somebody throws you and puts you in charge, you just be quiet. Because that way you learn where they're at, what's they're going, what's important to them, how things work, reading the room, who is the quiet voice that you have to go talk to learn from. It's like when I say mentioning you leaving, I want to sit down and talk to you afterwards. You know, if I ever were put in this position, I want to know. I want to know as much as I can learn because I want to shut up and listen. Because that's the best way to find out something. Be the dumbest person in the room, no matter what your education is. Does that
Okay.
answer your question,
Yes.
Rich?
You have one? Okay, go ahead.
You were asked about opportunities or issues if you're appointed. My question is, for opportunities, you stated business development. However, for issues, you said that you would not be able to offer any because at this point, it would be only an opinion, I
Yeah,
believe is what you'd said. I'm going to ask the question again. What issues, if you get appointed commissioner, what are your primary, and not so much primary, you'd strike the word, but what are you going to champion? There might be a better way to put it.
what am I going to champion as far as issues go?
Yeah.
I'll answer that question, Ed, just like this. What issues are there? As a person who's sitting at a table who's not on the Planning and Zoning Commission, I don't have avenue of what your issues are. I have ideas of what planning and zoning does. I have what is on paper. I have what the projection of planning and zoning has been. I have the minutes that I read. Those don't tell me issues. None of that information, it's a one-dimensional piece of paper that doesn't give me enough information to go on for me to say that there's any issues. So for me, I have opinions. My opinions are based on the information that I have, and I don't have issues. So for me to point out as an issue of the planning and zoning, I can't. I'm not part of it. I can't because I haven't had anybody yelling at me in reference to planning and zoning. I can't because only thing I can think of is the planning and zoning of what are you going to do in the future? That's planning and zoning. The only issue that I could try to pull one out of the hat to give you is I don't want to get too big too fast.
Okay.
I mean, that's the only thing I could pull out of the air that would be a mental issue that I would champion, that I don't want to get too big too fast. But as far as the group goes, I don't have any issues with that. I don't have any opinions. My opinion is I don't want to get too big too fast, but I don't know what your major idea is because I have not sat in the room with you to talk to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else have anything? Thank you very much, Cooper.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
You guys have a wonderful day. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yes,
It's appreciated.
yeah, thank you very much for your time. Okay, that brings us on to letter E, which is old business. We have none. Then letter F, the comprehensive plan update, we have none. G, the city council liaison update. To that, we turn to the mayor.
And again, too, that from the last meeting, there's not been a lot of things that have happened. If you have specific questions with me, I mean, we're working on the budgeting now. That came up here a little bit. With what is the budget looking forward? What we're going to present to the county, at least as a preliminary budget, is about a 13% increase. And that's dwindled down from a 23% increase that came through, and it's like, there isn't a member on the council that's willing to entertain a 23% increase there. And we're hoping to more between now and December. Kind of one of those things where everybody put all of the ideas, the things, the thoughts, what do we need for the fire department, what are going to be expenditures, the trucks, the equipment, the things that we need. Thought for the council was, yeah, that's great, whatever, but with a 23%, how many dollars do we really want to garner from the public, whatever, to hold in, quote, trust, if you will, while we're waiting to save up some dollars to buy a piece of equipment, right? You know, and so there's where the biggest cut came from. Equipment fund. And the thought for the council at that point in time was that if a big expenditure happens 3 years from now, we are going to get a fire engine that's in the works. Delivery schedule. Anyway, and that's going to be $1 million. So when that comes in, we've got money down on it, obviously, to hold our spot in their schedule. And when that comes in, we'll obviously bond for that. There really is no point. The amount that we actually left into the equipment fund could have a pretty good nest egg to go for. Largely as we would have, but this is a blend of holy mackerel, 23%. Well, 13 is probably doable. Let's see what whole thing. And when we think about spending, trimming the fat, maybe is kind of what we did a little bit at that point in time, but the council is don't let the fat get in there in the first place, right? So, I mean, if that would have necessarily gone from 100 to 220,000, which was one line item, if you will, well, then next year 226 to 250. Slow down here. Let's not grow so fast. You know what I mean? And really, for all intents and purposes, I mean, the planning commission's still meeting twice a month. Expenditures that are necessary, whatever. Dan's around, legal fees. We had those similar things, whatnot, as a township, anyways. Really, the actual need, besides inflation, whatever, really has not. So, you know,
What is the increase? And I missed the first part of yours.
13%. 2025 was certified at 1.7 million. 26 will propose at just over.
Okay.
And so what that works out to is if it remains at 2 million, so once we certify this to the county, we can't go any bigger. Won't go any bigger than that. Plain can't. So we've got bean counters and other people saying, go big, go big, go big now, because you'll have room to grow. And we're like, that doesn't make any sense to us. We've never planned that way. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna say, I want nothing to do with throwing this monster number to scare the hell out of the people. You know what I mean? Only to say, no, I guess not. We'll just do this. Go for what we need right from the 2,026,000 roughly. That's about a 13%. A lot of money. I remember when the whole budget was 600. The whole budget to do everything we did in this town.
Trying to think back to the first community meeting we had back here, and 5-digit number. I don't remember what, but it was right around what you're saying. Gone from that to now our yearly budget is. Have we grown that fast? Have we grown?
No, well, yes and no. So 17 years ago when I got on the board, we were at about 5,000, 5,500. We hung on. Oh, he got way deep into those. But what has happened is a fire truck that cost $450,000 10 years ago. And the roads and any kind of construction on that went from $250,000 a mile to close to $1 million, depending on what you do. Things like the road projects I've talked to you extensively about 100th Street and 297. You know what I mean? That will be, if come to fruition, that will be a $4 million road project. For a little old Baldwin, those are big numbers. And the other thing that we're also trying to work out now and establish is what parts of MSA funding, right? We talked about this in the very beginning. That's road funding comes from the state. It's got to go to the roads. So Baldwin's piece of it is about $680,000. So if you think about it, what we're gonna propose for road and bridge for next year, 700,000 in 2025, 600,000, pretty much doubles our road budget. Well, it comes with a little caveat. It can only be used on MSA roads. Can't be used like blanket coverage across all the streets and avenues and whatever of the city. Now we're running into monumental expenses, if you will, because we don't even have the proper amount of road right away. These two particular roads, the city doesn't own it. To the scale of increase in size of the road, whatever, to do that. So this starts with easement procurement, legal fees, and tons and tons and tons of engineering to figure out exactly where this line needs to be. And the question becomes, okay, is all of that billable towards it? I'm having a problem getting an answer to that question. Out of something that you would think would, yes, no, whichever way it is, just let us know.
Who owns the MSA road?
The city would.
We own the MSA road.
Yes, the city owns all the roads. MSA roads generally, usually are roads that are collector street. So they're not the windy through the developments generally, whatnot, but they're gonna be 305th that goes between 1 and 136th Street that goes from County Road 9, whatever, up to County Road 40.
So it has to go from a county road to a state road, or a city road to a county road to a city, whatever.
Generally, a county road to a county road, or a county road to another MSA road, if we have another MSA road. It can't be just a road that's out. Anyway, we'll get through it. It's easy, not a big deal, just a deal. Because that'll help us a bunch even in this year right now, because we've got about close to $200,000 tied up in 100th Street and 297. Sure would be able to bill, it'd be nice to be able to bill that to MSA. I think we should.
Is that the only MSA road we have?
Oh gosh, no, we got 20 miles of it. That's only about a mile and a half of it. $4 million for a mile and a half. So once we get established and we start working on our MSA roads, the cost of doing the repairs and the maintenance of established MSA roads, much less than establishing the MSA road. Right? So, I mean, as we go along, things will get easier. And the one thing that we're able to do is we're able to take the MSA funding and connect it to debt, right? So if this is $4 million, we can say we can use MSA funding for the next 10 years or whatever the bonding is, whatever, to service the debt, that $4 million. That's helpful. We don't have to raise the levy on all the rest of us, whatever. That's what the MSA funding is. All of a sudden, there's a question that can't be answered. Cover engineering, easement procurement. So, I mean, we did a study, whatever, and if we replaced every tree that we're gonna have to cut out to do that, we'd have about 400 trees. County's number for when they.
Sometimes you have to ask, is it worth it?
Well, growing pains, and so what's also interesting too, just has nothing to do with Baldwin, our attorneys, and also the accountant that we use. We will no longer be possibly be the newest. Northern Township by Bemidji, they want to, our attorneys are doing that. Oh, Dan too. That's the group, that's the crew. Ellers for financial, Dan for the planning, is Hawkins and Anderson in there?
No, I think they're using their own engineer.
So, and a good group of people, they got us where we are today. These are phenomenal. Anyway, but I told them, I'm like, explain to them the MSA money, because that's a hell of a carrot dangled in front of you, but there's very specific ways in which you have to act and use it.
It's definitely not money wasted.
No.
By the time you get done with the road, it's a much better road than is there today. Not only just the surface, but the width of it, the shoulders, the ditches. you know, it's suitable to accommodate the traffic that's using it, so.
You can tell by my expression you're losing me.
Yep, I'd say. Thank you very much.
Yeah, any other questions?
That brings us to the next one, Age Commissioner update. I'd like to break this into two sections. The first one, an open section for the discussion of the candidates. We are missing two people tonight. Next week, I will not be here. I totally forgot to mention it last week, so I apologize for the short notice. Commissioner Marshall will be chairing the next meeting. I've already spoke with him.
Going out on top, maybe.
There you go.
So, I can certainly give my recommendations or my order. And then if you want to discuss it next week, or if you want to wait until the special, next month's special, we can make a decision then. But if we want
I
to,
have to come back another month.
for $50 there. Oh, there we go. There we go.
Worth it. I want a piece of that 10 million, you know?
In
That
open,
tells you what kind of a hooker I am.
in open discussion, what did everybody think of the four candidates? Anyone stand out? Anyone fall to number 4 or?
I can tell you right off the bat that I'm with 1 and 2, and I didn't have this opinion last time, but I think Cooper came up and did well. But I still think Bruce is number 1, Cooper probably number 2, and Mary Catherine.
Mary 3rd and Rosie 4th.
Here, Mary, what the heck? Where am I? Rosemary, yeah. I think she's number 3, and Mary Catherine's number 4.
Mary Catherine number 4. Okay, that's your order. Okay.
That's the way I rate them.
Okay. So I am going to go with A, D, and C, and then B, Mary. That's for you, okay? Anyone else have any opinions, strong opinions on any of the candidates?
I think Bruce was one for me.
Okay.
What's that?
Bruce was one for me, just based on how he answered the
My only
questions
concern
and,
about Bruce was, and I'm honest, and he was honest, you know.
Yeah.
If this was a law enforcement person talking here, I would do it, but I would be hard pressed to say I can't go along with you, you know. But in this particular case, we're talking a lot of money for the city, and I trust that he said, yeah, I can do that.
Bruce, number 1.
everyone's like, Bruce, let's here we go.
Yeah. With Cartrell, I have to, full disclosure, I help finance his city council run. So I'm probably biased. But I tried to get him to answer, there's 2 questions he didn't answer. There was the issues, and then at the end, he was saying, not have position to answer properly. So I think we were asking for opinions. You know, we're trying to gauge people, and we're trying to ask them their opinions. And when they sit there and say, I can't offer this information because I don't have the position, I'm not happy with that answer. I think he could have. I was looking for him to skirt it more around. You know, his earlier answers were. You know, and one concern I have is he's looking for 5-acre lots. I don't think that we're in a position to push 5-acre lots in our community and keep people happy. So, you know, between my affiliation with Cartrell and not answering questions, I don't recommend it at all. Or I have to be, yeah. I don't think that was really.
You wouldn't endorse him?
Yeah, Bruce is number 1.
Yeah.
But I had to disclose the Cartrell stuff, so.
Yep, appreciate it.
I'll be honest, I think for a variety of reasons, Bruce was also my first choice. for me, it comes down to his community service as a fireman. I think provides a lot of variety for what each of us brings. And as you mentioned, that was something we are looking for. I liked a lot of what, I call him he's a Cooper.
Cooper,
You know, and I work with him on the infrastructure committee.
He says, call me Coop, yeah.
Yeah, he reminds me a lot of me in certain ways, but what I wasn't sold on for him is I didn't like the answer of I'm going to shut up and listen for 9 months. No, we need your opinion. So I'm not sure how if he's going to sit here and not say anything, that doesn't do us any good. So I don't know if maybe I'm misinterpreting it, but he would have been my second choice, but that answer right there is what dropped him to, and I like the variety that Bruce offers over. I don't know. I mean, that's just my initial thought process, I guess.
I mean, Cooper he appears to have a lot of experience. But it's just a matter of, like you say, how is he gonna work with the team?
Okay.
Might be a good way to put it.
I liked one answer that Mary gave. And as she said, as the volunteer event planner and things that she's networking and working in, but the same could be said for Rosie. The fact that they know a lot of people intrigued me because one of the things, you know, if we have a situation that's contentious, which happens in planning commission in other places that I know of, and you have a room full of people, you have to be able to communicate to those people why you're making the choice you're making, even if it's against what everybody else in the room is wanting, because it matches the rules and regulations. That's where Bruce got my first vote, is because I go back to our last meeting where somebody wanted to build a house on 6 acres and she wanted it right in the middle. And there's a reason why we had to tell her no. I hear her side. I honestly understand her side, but there's a reason why we have to follow the rules and regulations. As a planning commission, we are planning for the city's future and we can't cut our nose off. Flexibility is a slippery slope. Everybody else wanted flexibility for things and Bruce was willing to. And I'm not about not having variances. I've got my own. I'll be the first to admit. And I had told somebody, they can tell me no. I mean, but flexibility just for flexibility's sake is a slippery slope. And so that's where, for me, Bruce jumped to the first place. I would work with any of them. I will be happy with all 4 of them. I really would think we'd all be able to work with any of them. I don't think there's a bad choice, which is in our, I work for a community of 70,000 people and we have that many, you know, replacing people to come and do. I think it says something about our city that we have this many people who want to invest their time in our city. And to me, that's incredible.
Agree with you.
I would work with any of them. I think they would all fit the bill very nicely. If I had to pick one as a first choice for me, it's Bruce. I'll be quiet now, sorry. I babble. Sorry. You have to type it up, I'm sorry.
I know, she's over there going,
I'm sorry,
there'll
Kayla.
be 4 words. She likes Bruce.
I typed the planning commission discussed interviews.
Yeah, I was gonna
Thank
say,
you.
that's what
I like Bruce. Just
Thank
3
you.
words, she'll sum it all up.
it's on video.
Thank you. Yes.
Kind of going on what you're saying as far as Bruce, I mean, his response was, follow the rules or follow the plan or make changes. And that's kind of where I believe it's like we're setting the rules, and this is, if we realize that a lot of people are asking for a certain thing and it's something we can do, at that point we would make change, we would evaluate it, suggest the change, and then throw it at the city council and let them decide.
I think Bruce worded it the best when he said the way he worded it. I think the other ones weren't wrong in saying having flexibility as far as we can't sit here and be rigid and never change our minds. If something comes up over and over again and we have to re-examine it and say, you know what, we need to be flexible enough to listen, and should we address that, and should we make a change? He just happened to say exactly spot on, that a variance is there for a reason, and if you find yourself needing to do it, well, then you have to address the ordinances, address everything. When they said, well, you'll look at it, it's like, it has to do with the wording, but yes, we have to follow the ordinances. We can't, because we had that initially with variances, people coming in, and finally we said that it has to be irregular lots. We have them come in all the time, and you'll start seeing them on, especially Elk Lake. These are regular lots, and people's septic fails. They want to do something, and you have to grant the variance, because it's like the house has to be livable. There has to be a septic. So,
Yeah.
but when that one came in and she wanted, as a homeowner, you hear the story and you're like, absolutely, we'll pass it. But as planning and zoning, you say we can't, because that's a want, not a need. I really liked, what shot Mary up to second for me was, and we've had it in the past, people show up and they haven't looked at a thing. She said pre-read and come prepared for the meetings. That's so huge, because you've been sitting here and I've been sitting here, and we have people show up and they haven't looked over a thing. And it's so hard then when you're discussing something and they don't even know what we're talking about, and they're scrambling like this the whole time, and you're like, you didn't even take a half an hour to prepare for this. It's like, just please prepare. That was very important. She stated that. That was something that,
I agree with that.
to me, it was like, that was very nice. Bruce,
Mary?
that was Mary. She stated that, and that was very good. I looked at you three, and I made the comment after we interviewed. I said, I always look at the person to say, could they, if they ever interested in being a chairperson or someone nominates them, would I say I would vote for that person? And all three of you met that. When I looked at those three, I saw that in Bruce, and I didn't really see it in the other three. I didn't like how Cooper avoided those couple questions, because it just doesn't sit well. It's like, we're looking for your opinion. And he did state how he would sit and be quiet for 9 months, but then when you're asking, it's like, well, this is your time now that we're saying, what is your opinion, or what do you feel? And you just didn't, it's like, you're not avoiding it, but you just wouldn't answer it. And it was like trying to be like, not contradictory, but just to state that, well, I'm not going to answer it because I don't feel I should. And I'm just like, that just doesn't hit me right.
And I brought up that question specifically because I wanted to see how if he would realize his mistake and correct it, or if he doubled down on it, which he did.
So as far as making a nomination, we have those two that we have to get their opinion. I won't be here next week if we want to address it, or if we want to just push it off until the October meeting, and the 7 of us can address it then. I know you said you'll stick around to the end of the year. If you want to stick around for 2 more meetings, next week's and the special, if we nominate someone, they can come in.
I will.
You will? Okay.
If it serves your purposes, I will.
Okay, so I'd really like for all 7 of us to be here, well, 9 of us, but.
Besides that, it's another $50.
Minus
2 more meetings, that's $100.
Yeah.
minus tax.
Oh, that's what I said. It's another-
Minus taxes.
Hey.
Richard's
Well,
taking
the
us
city
all
should
out
have a
for drinks
buyout plan.
afterwards after his last meeting.
City should have a buyout plan. Where's yours?
Absolutely.
What is the plan so Bruce is a new candidate
So do we have these rated?
for Patty and Calvin Clavin.
Gonna be
Clavin?
Clavin. I know, you're gonna go down in infamy with that one. Hey, Clavin.
I always check your name because I did it for so long. I put an E in your last name for so long, so now I always double check
Yeah.
yours. Now I'm gonna have to check for Clavin every time.
Do we,
Yep.
Mr. Chair, do we have these rated yet? We have number 1. Do we have number 2, 3, and 4?
No, we
I don't
don't.
want to go there,
Well, we have a unanimous number 1.
right?
So unfortunately, for the ease of it, if Bruce would have came in as our clear number 4, it would be easier to almost just ask them opinion via email saying, we interviewed it, if you want to watch the video, but Bruce came in a distant 4th. It would be very easy, but since he did come in number 1, I'd like to see if they would watch the video and get, in the next 4 weeks, so that when we meet in the October meeting, we can address it with them and say, what did you think of them? And then we can
Okay, so you're gonna run on me, huh?
And Mr. Chair, since you're only appointing one person, you know, last time you were trying to appoint two, so you had to kind of sort out. Yeah.
Well, he's our man, and no matter what they do, it's gonna be our man, because it'll be 4-2,
Right.
5-2,
5-2.
so.
But I would like their opinion.
Well, yeah.
They have to work with them.
your chair next week. Okay, now we will go back to the second part of the city council, or excuse me, the commissioner update individually. Anyone have anything they'd like to say, starting with you, sir? Mr. Soffren, do you have anything you'd like to bring up?
I had something, but I forgot what it was. Not today.
Nope, nope.
What's the matter with you people?
Commissioner
What
Bryan.
are we supposed to talk to you guys about?
Dick always has
I'm
something.
like, what do you
Most
guys
of-
want to know?
I know, most time it's like, nope, and then Commissioner Marshall, yes, I have. So so we'll go with Commissioner Barnes first.
Go ahead, I dare you.
I want to hear what Mr. Commissioner Marshall has to say first, then I might be able to build on
Oh,
it.
that's true, that's true. We'll go with.
Have anything to
You don't have
say.
anything? Okay.
Now
Well, I
there's
thought for
pressure.
sure He was gonna say, well, I don't have an opinion.
Put that in
on anything
capital.
unless you have
I don't have an opinion on this.
He's already checked out. He's
a
just
short
here for
timer.
the 50
That's so
bucks.
true. Put that in capital letters. Commissioner Marshall had nothing in the commissioner update.
I think it's
County Marshal, we call.
been an honor. to
I don't
serve.
think do we know if we have items for next week? I mean, I'm assuming Joan will send that out this week.
He'll be going in his thing, he'll give that out.
Okay, I'm jumping the gun.
Who's gone? Who's gone?
That's why she's still in her rookie year.
Is he leaving too?
No,
Where are you going next week?
I'm here.
You better be.
Yeah.
You're on your own. That's
It's been
you're
a
on your
long
own.
time since I sat there, and I may need your help, buddy.
I'm gonna want to sit over on that side so you don't gavel me.
You didn't even have to go there. It is over there. I
It is
can.
there. It is there.
I noticed there's only one gavel tonight.
I thought this would be a real mellow one. I got my other, it's right on top, in case I would need it. Do you have anything at all?
No, I think I'm good.
All I have is,
I tried, but I jumped the gun.
I will not be here next week. I apologize for missing. I don't miss many meetings, as you know.
You don't.
So I apologize, but it's a wedding we have over in Italy, so.
In Italy.
Italy? Only.
No, you're
Only
not going
the
to
wedding we
wedding.
have
You're
in
going
Italy.
to see the town.
Italy.
Very true.
Wow.
It's a nephew, and it was like, when it's in Italy, it's like, we've never been there, and we probably will never go there, so it'd be a great chance to say, let's go there for the wedding.
Well, yeah.
So we turned it into a 10-day family trip, all 3 kids, and it's all 7 of us are going there, so
Nice.
family time there, so it'll be very, very fun. And that was pretty much it. Just kind of on a very weird note, I just want to throw it in because my physical therapist asked me today, he's like, where are you from? And I'm like, oh, I said, I'm up north. I said, Princeton area. I said, Baldwin. He's like, oh, Baldwin Township. I said, no, it's Baldwin. It's a city now. He's like, is it really? And he's like, oh, when did that happen? I said, oh, so I went into detail. And I said, you know Baldwin Township? He's like, yes. He's like, I lived in Baldwin Township. I grew up there. I'm like, oh, really? Where? And he goes, oh, it's off of 169 and 38. And I'm like, really? I said, east. And I said, how far? He goes, oh, you just go to 119th and you go north. I said, you literally grew up about a quarter of a mile from me. So I've had this guy for 6 months, and the last time I have him was today. We found out that we were neighbors for many years. So now he got married and lives in Maple Grove, but it's weird how little things like that happen. You meet somebody and it's like, wow, we were neighbors and didn't even know it.
One of my best friends for 30 years was fire marshal for City of Duluth for 5 years. She's retired now. She grew up here.
Really? Not weird.
And she's like, you're moving to where I grew up. I said, yep. She's still in Duluth, Esco now, but
Oh, Esco, okay.
yeah, talk about small worlds, you know.
College roommate was Esco.
Okay, see, small worlds.
Okay, now we will get on to for you, the city staff update.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have one item next week, an interim use permit application for a commercial dog kennel. Unless Kayla remembers something else I'm supposed to do. But
Just
I
one
think
thing on
that's
the
just the
agenda.
one thing.
What's that?
Just one thing on the agenda for next week, an interim use permit for a dog kennel. That's all that's on the agenda next
Woof
week.
woof, huh?
Yeah.
Is that the same one we've done before? or-
No, new one.
How many dogs?
I'd have to look. I haven't done the report yet.
It's over 10.
Yeah, it's over,
Do we
right.
have an ordinance on dog
Interviews,
kennels?
so-
Yes, we do. Yep. This is one that came up as a code enforcement thing, so,
Oh, wow, okay.
that they need the permit, and so they provided all the information. They meet all the requirements, thankfully, so it should be pretty straightforward.
Okay. That's right, run off and leave me with the chickens.
Leaving you with the dogs.
There you go.
That's all right, I can handle
No,
it.
sir.
Nothing else.
You got it.
Miscellaneous information and communications, J, notes 1 through 4 below. And that brings us to our final letter K, adjournment. We have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have a second? Second. Favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We are adjourned at 8:36 PM. Thank you very much, everyone.